Your fuel tank has sprung a leak. Fly your aircraft to the airport on the west coast for repair.
What?
Weather is clear. Take off and fly due west. The leak in your fuel tank will reduce your range, so you'll have to refuel en route. Rendezvous with the refueling train, continue to the airport and land. Here is how to rendezvous. Fly directly above the train and synchronize your speed. Descend until your aircraft engages the mechanism on top of a refueling car. If you are going too fast or too slow, you will not engage. While refueling, continue to watch your speed. If you stray from the train, the refueling hose will detach. When finished refueling, fly away from the train or press the circle button to detach. You can refuel from the train as many times as necessary. Once you arrive at the town, complete your mission by landing at the airport near the end of the railroad tracks.
Did you get all that? Oh crap, look at the fuel gauge in the lower right corner. So, this is Sky Odyssey for PlayStation 2. In case your brain went into a shock after that briefing, allow me to reiterate the idea of this mission. Instead of repairing our ruptured fuel tank right here, we are flying across a desert to fix it. The desert just happens to have a train moving along the same route, which happens to have fuel on it and happens to have mid-air refueling gear. Yes, that's the train, it brakes for nobody. This is only the second level of the game, and the first where you realize how fabulously crazy the ride is going to be. That is unless you've read the manual, which states quite clearly that if you want to turn sharper in canyons, you should roll on the side and bounce off vertical rock walls with your landing gear. I'm going to get some points now. They're not required to complete the level, and neither are the checkpoints, but they contribute to the rating in the end. This mission has stumped many a player, but the trick is to actively use your invisible yet functional speed brake along with throttle control. And the rudder. And you need to carefully slam into the gates. Basically the trick is to fly better. It's not that hard, only took me another 2 attempts off camera. If you run out of fuel, you'll have to restart because you won't catch up with the train with your engine dead. There is no combat in this game, just you and the level designer's insanity. Oh bugger, I snapped off the hose. You should try doing some aerobatic maneuvers, there is an unlockable tie to them. Sky Odyssey recognizes and awards points for only 4 tricks. For flying low inverted, not shown here, for rolls and for loops. The loops are pointless because performing a loop you are getting nowhere, and missions also have a timer ticking down. Being fast gets you a high rating too. I didn't roll through that one. With the hose attached, your plane handles very funny, in a bad way. Halfway there. Performing tricks through checkpoints give you bonus score, and you can even game the system to get a double bonus by ending one roll and starting the second one in the short time you're inside the ring. This mission is pretty tame. It's essentially a training run for a later flight where you have to refuel from a flying tanker, and you can't ride that one all the way to your destination. Other missions include flying over a mountain ridge where you have to dump most of your fuel to get over the top. Or how about landing on a rocking aircraft carrier in a storm? Or flying through a storm? Or crossing a forest below the treetop level. And sometimes below the ground level too. The game's HUD is lacking the attitude indicator, so a lot of cave flying missions are really disorienting. Especially when the cave is formed by thunderclouds that damage your plane if you touch them, and you still have to fly through it all and dive through the eye of the storm to get to the airfield. Oh, and there is also that mission where your engine dies and you ride the rapids on your float plane, occasionally gliding down a waterfall. That was a fun mission too. So when the game eventually told me to fly over an active volcano mid-eruption, I felt it was a perfectly rational thing to do. I'll try to get some more points, but I'm not going for a record. It's just that aerobatics can compensate for being late, missing checkpoints or damaging your plane, so that your rating does not suffer. You want to get at least a B rank in the end. That lets you add a new part to your collection. Yes, this plane and 2 others are customizable. The parts change both the appearance and the performance. I'll show it later. I see an emulation glitch on the minimap. It stretches towards a runway, but it's not the one where we're supposed to land. Perhaps it's a secret runway. Some missions have them. There is a plane you can unlock by collecting its parts from secret bases scattered over several mission maps. This tunnel is so wide compared to the majority of caves in Sky Odyssey you wouldn't believe. Right, we're coming up to the end of the tunnel, and the game's dynamic soundtrack is going to kick into the triumphant mode. Here's the tense music dying down. Okay, I'll stop sucking the hose. There's the airfield. We're ready to land. Oh wait, another checkpoint. Sky Odyssey loves inconveniently placed checkpoints that require you to veer off the easy route. You saw the one over the town at the start of the mission too. If you ignore it, catching the train is not so difficult. $1,000 points. Yes, we're definitely getting a new part after this. This plane is very responsive and basically the easy mode for most missions. I didn't get a circled A+. Oh well. Now for some looting. The game lets you pick any one part out of pretty much the entire list. The only area where you have to do incremental upgrades is the engine, and it always increases your weight. Right off the bat you can start building up speed or maneuverability. I like the lighter fuselage. It makes the takeoff run shorter, although the plane becomes more fragile. Here is the part I got earlier. Yes, it's new wheels. Look at the change in speed as I switch between them. The smaller covered wheels are basically free speed with no downside I can think of. You can also paint the plane. I already did for this video. It's nothing too complicated, you pick a pattern and adjust the colors. The emblem, on the other hand, is something you can draw. But I'm not going to. Since I don't have anything unlocked, only the 3 main customizable planes are available. You can get other aircraft, but I'm not sure the game lets you change anything on them except for the emblem. Anyway, that was the adventure mode. There are 2 other gameplay modes. Like the sky canvas, where you trail smoke deliberately. They can't let us in without showing us some rules.
The object... Let's draw a straight line for our first set.
No thanks. You get a plane out of this if you're good at flying through rings. Oh. This is the other mode where you fly through rings to get stuff. Like the jukebox, or some parts, or a plane.
There are 2 sets of 6 targets in this stage. A red set and a blue set. To complete the stage, pass through 6 targets and land before time runs out.
To get good scores, you have to hit targets of the same color in their numerical order, and that gets tough. For some reason, this mode lets you wait for good weather. I'm not sure if it helps. Some stages deliberately stick targets into clouds so you can't read the number from far away.
There are 2...
Anyway, that was Sky Odyssey, a crazy combat-free PS2 game. I shall now return to our regular aerial slaughter.